In a society where gender disparities persist, women who aspire to political leadership face many challenges. Despite the progress that has been made towards gender parity in politics, the stories of women who have run for office but faced defeats reveal a complex web of systematic barriers that continue to hinder their progress. Despite these challenges, a powerful movement is unfolding in Nigeria as courageous women step forward to claim their rightful place in the political arena. Women in Leadership Advancement Network, WILLEN, a Nigerian-based global organization with a vision to inspire a shift to gender-balanced leadership across all levels, is promoting female leadership. With the support of Luminate, WILLEN launched the Women Running Circle with an on-site aftercare program in December 2023, bringing together an impressive cohort of women who fearlessly ran for political offices in Nigeria's 2023 general elections. This documentary is a testament to their stories, their struggles, and their unwavering resolve to forge a path towards a more inclusive and equitable future for Nigeria.
My name is Hyellagiziya Naiwa Fakuta. I'm a chartered accountant, a farmer, and a politician. I was a candidate House of Representative, Gombe Home Federal Constituency, Adamawa State. Going into politics was not in the plan. But after more than 20 years of same representation, I came home seeing the same things that have been campaigned for. I asked myself, why are we always in the same place? Why are we here? Why are things not changing? Why are we always having the same set of people representing us while our problem never change? That was when I went into politics, believing that for a nation to be better, there have to be good policies in place. And for us to have good policies in place, we have to have the right people at the right place to make it right for us. I choose to contest for House of Representatives. It wasn't easy, the journey, because as a young candidate and as a woman in politics, I faced all the prejudices, the economic disadvantage, the gender discrimination, the stereotype. Sometimes somebody, by merely looking at you as a woman, will say, what can you do? And again, women in politics, it's not something that is common, especially from region where I am. I remember during the 2023 election, I think for the National Assembly, for Senate and House of Rep, in my entire state, I was the last woman standing to the final day of the election. Not just being a woman, but the challenges of going out there to campaign. Imagine sometimes you go to tell people about your manifestos, to tell them your own struggle, how you want them to be better. Some will come out with weapons. You have to know how to approach them. And also you have to deal with the fact that there's serious lack of political education and literacy. There are so many people that don't even understand the meaning of lawmaker or why you are looking for the seat. I remember going to one place. The community people brought out like 150 lists of graduates from secondary school to university, saying when you get there, you have to give them appointment. And not just that, some places, when you go there, they say you have to drop money before we can even listen to you. So it was not a small battle, but we are where we are. That only makes me to think that I have work ahead of me, that I have to do better, I have to do more. Of course, Losing election was not easy. I lost millions with the stress, coming back home, nothing to fall back on. WILAN program is one of its kind. It never happened before. You come back after election, you have nothing to fall back on than just to resort to self-help. But for the first time, an NGO is remembering us, remembering the pain we have passed through, encouraging us. This is a wonderful step for us. This means so much to anybody that understands what it means to contest politics as a woman in Nigerian political space.
My name is Janet Awo, and I was a House of Assembly candidate for Hawwah constituency in Rivers State. My journey into politics has been an incredible one. For me, I'll say leadership has been predestinated for me because it wasn't something I deliberately wanted to do, especially at this time. But leadership found me, I'll say so, because right from when I was in school, I was a student leader, and I have always had the opportunity to lead. So my journey into politics was one that I'm grateful for. I'm grateful for the experience. Although I had challenges with finance, because I didn't have all the money. Well, you know, I had the zeal, I had the confidence, and I also had the solutions to the problems that we face in my constituency. So I was able to put myself forward irrespective of the challenges, irrespective of the financial constraints. I was still able to run my campaigns. And one of the challenges I also faced was electoral violence. I went to run for election, and on election day, I actually had to run for my life because a INEC staff was shot in my ward on election day. It was a sad one for all of us. It was somebody I knew that went to work on that election day. So the journey so far has been incredible. I'm grateful for the experience. I believe that if we have the right people, if we have the right leaders, we'll have a better country. So that is why I had to put myself out there.
I went into politics as an undergraduate. Then while in school, we had this program we were running for young women on campus, trying to see if we can have more women in campus leadership, that is SUG. So we were moving, we had a program we were running then. We moved from one campus to the other, basically in Southeast. So we were just trying to inspire young women to go into campus politics, so that after graduation it will be easier for them to move into mainstream politics. So that was what made me first. I went into campus politics, then I contested to be the departmental president, and as at then, I was the first female to even aspire to be president of a department. Then I went to ESUT, Enugu State University of Science and Technology. So then it was almost impossible to have female students contest for such positions. But I took it, I said, it's good. We have talked to other women. We need to equally step out so that they will see that we are really taking actions. So then I ran for departmental president as the first female alongside about 4 or 5 male students then. So, but unfortunately, I did not win because it was hard. We were trying to demystify things as at then. So I didn't win that election because prior to the election, I had people coming to tell me, why don't you go for VP unopposed. I said, no, you don't get the idea. It's not about being VP. We want women to occupy these positions so that other students coming, we see that there are no reserved positions for male students or for female students. In as much as you are a student, you are equally qualified to be president, not just the usual vice presidents for female students. After graduation, after NYSC, I now knew it was time to, further launch into mainstream politics. So in 2018, back then, in 2018, I joined PDP, People's Democratic Party in Enugu State. So then they had a zoning formula. So like the zone positions, like House of Assembly as at then, for 2019 election was zoned to my side. So I said, oh, this was a good opportunity for me to, further launch out. So I looked around and I took a stock, and we have in my constituency, Enugu North constituency, the municipal constituency, we have not had any female to even aspire to go to House of Assembly. So then I said, wow, this was a good opportunity for me to, give it a trial. So I came out and I declared interest to run for the State House of Assembly to represent Enugu North constituency. So I started consultations as usual, and when it was time to buy forms, I bought forms, did the normal pre-election campaigns, that's a pre-party primaries campaign, alongside, I think there were about 6 of them, 6 males. So yeah, so I was the first female to aspire to go to House of Assembly from Enugu North constituency. Unfortunately, I did not become the candidate. So it was at that level of aspiration, and I couldn't make it to become the party flag bearer. But it was a good outing. I mean, there are lots of challenges that we face as young women in politics, patriarchy and all that. But I think it was a good shot that I, dared to go to House of Assembly. Even though I did not get it, because of the patriarchy and some other issues, but I'm not giving up. That is why I'm here. Going forward, trying to learn from what has happened and build capacity for what lies ahead.
Hello, I'm Sewuese Bem. I'm a scientist, an entrepreneur, a politician, and an advocate. But I'm wearing the cap of a politician more now. I have contested in 2 elections. In 2019, I ran for the State House of Assembly in Boko East constituency, Benue State. While in 2023, I ran for the House of Representatives, Fakuta Federal Constituency in Benue State. Leadership has been something that is inborn in me. I will say that there are leaders that are born, there are some that are made, there are some that are tutored into being leaders. And I think I fall in the category of the born leaders. I won't take much of my unionism in the university into course, but sometime in 2017, I got pricked by the situation of Nigeria. Coming from a part that I am an advocate, a humanitarian, and a campaigner, I see a lot of things that needed to be certified and I think these things can be fixed by the parliamentary. And that was why I did not think of going into executive. I picked where I'm going to talk, where I'm going to make laws, where I'm going to amend laws, where I'm going to see some oversights. And then I came in. From where I come from, we do micro-zoning, and this time around, micro-zoning fell with me in the federal parliament, and I went there. It has been so fascinating. I love everything that happened, but the politics is actually a career that needs a lot of money. These monies are not for buying elections. They are not for doing my practices. These are logistics. Pre-elections, we need to campaign. We need to educate. Then during elections, we need to take care of agents. We need to move about. And post-elections, we need to go for appreciations. And both times, I have failed, mostly because of funding. I did not have enough money for this. And especially as our terrain is designed to be moved by electorates when you show that you have money and more affluence. And this have cost me to be where I am. But where I am has provided a platform for me to learn more. Sometimes I said, if I just got it at one blow, I might not do enough of what I needed to do. So I am thankful for the loss because it has taught me a lot, and I'm going to be well equipped come 2027. And I ran on the platform, this time around I ran on the platform of the African Democratic Congress, that is the ADC, the party that is friendly to women and the youth. When I watch politics happen in Rwanda, politics happen in India, politics happen in Norway, politics happen in the US, I see a balance of women and men. I see a balance of the young and the old, and this is why they are progressing massively. You, the people, you have your job, and we, the politicians, we have our course, and then the empire, INEC, of course, have their role. It is just three of us all in this boat. Everyone have to do theirs, and then in the end, we are going to be a nation that we are not going to be begging people. People will be begging to come to us to have relationships, economic relationship with us and other things. Thank you very much, Nigeria.
I come from a political family. My father was deputy governor in Kano in 1979, and my brothers are in politics. We're 34 in my family, 20 girls and 14 boys. So you can imagine how many political parties there will be in my house. Everything is not contested, but everything is debated. So I come from a political family. I am interested in politics because I think it is the only way we can be able to make some changes in our local governments and in our lives. I felt that I should go for the House of Representatives because that is the place where I can be able to rub shoulders with people that will have the same ideas as I have. And also because I feel the local politics in Kano is still very, very local in the sense that women still don't have space. Unfortunately, it's not that they have stopped giving women space. Women used to have big spaces in politics up north. I don't have to remind you of Leila Dogonyaro or Asabe Yankareza or Gambo Sawaba, or Najatu Mohammed, or women like that. We had Namadi Bebeji. So, but unfortunately, we've been regressing instead of moving forward. I came from a very privileged position in terms of my campaign because I was unopposed. My local government wanted me to come and represent them. And where delegates were asking for money from contestants, my delegates decided that they only wanted transport money, and that was because they came from other, wards. How much? They told me 2,000 naira each. So you could see how ready they were to have this woman, take responsibility for the things that they think they should get. So I didn't have a problem. And because I was unopposed, it meant that, we didn't have the kind of problem that others were having in terms of the infighting. A day before elections, moved around in the areas, paid some people some money so that they could vote against me, which was fine with me, because for me, I have two wins. The way I see it, I have two wins because it's been a long time since a woman had gone all the way to elections. So I got all the way to elections. Even if I came last, at least I was there. So I won that one. And secondly, because I refused to buckle under. So for me, I had won those things. Another challenge, you see, is one that I could, it's become a problem for most of us up, in fact, in the country, I say. The triple problems of hunger, poverty, and illiteracy, right, are worse than any AK-47. And the fact that government, in its wisdom, has institutionalized beggary becomes a problem for us. Now, there is no way you can speak to people and tell them, don't take anybody's money, just vote for me, and when I get there, I'll use your resources to do work for you. Because they have had people have had opportunities where, they'd had that trust and have misused it. So they're not going to trust anybody anymore. So I can say that they may decide, okay, they'll give me a chance, but come the day of election, somebody's going to give them 1,000 naira and buy that vote. And that's because they really don't have a choice. They don't have a choice because hunger is hunger. Poverty is poverty. If they need to eat, they need to eat. If they need medicine, they need to eat to get medicine. But the illiteracy part of it is all the more reason why they cannot see what I am saying. That you cannot continue to do the same thing, all the time and expect a different outcome, because that is what they have been doing since. They've been selling those votes for little money, and then they have, still going back to the same 4 years of suffering. But then again, also, another challenge that I had was the financial challenge, which every woman, I think, would have. My friends and my relatives came through. But apart from my friends and relatives, nobody else did. So we have people that have a lot of money who could encourage women to do, but they didn't. And I think the party could have done better also if it had really wanted. PDP did well, but in comparison to the other parties, but it didn't do well enough. Like I said, if we had done our work properly, PDP would have really got the ticket.
How did I get involved in politics? I'm sure you already know that I'm a real estate professional. I'm a licensed estate surveyor and valuer and an independent property advisor. Actually, I was nominated. So I got a call from the candidates saying that there were nominations going on for deputy governor, and I was like, oh, interesting, let's find out who had the names that you have chosen, and we'll see what they've done, and all that. And to my greatest surprise, I was told that there were 8 people nominated, and I was number 1 on the list. And that was how the journey started. So I received a text later on saying that I was invited by the party for an interview, and I was supposed to come with my credentials and all that. So I went, just like every normal interview, and they said they would get back to me. And one of those few days later, I got a call again saying I was the best. And I'm like, hey, God, oh. But as if that was not enough, I was given the INEC form to fill. I'm like, oh, what's happening? And sometimes when things like this happen, it's almost like a dream. Like INEC form, we only hear about all these things in the news. We don't, I had to get my certificate, my secondary school certificate. I needed to fill the form. I was excited filling the form. I actually needed to speak with a couple of people initially. And I remember calling up my close friends, telling them what has just come and I've just submitted my. And you know, sometimes these things can happen when there's almost like the deadline, so you have to you have to go to court to do some stamping on your form and all that. And that was how the journey started. But it took me a long time before I accepted the nomination, even though I'd submitted my INEC form and all that. I remember, and I had to take some time out to pray and to just commune with myself. And my lawyers also, I needed to tell them immediately. And one of the best things she did for me was to take me to our own mentor, who is also a politician, a female politician. And the day she saw me, she welcomed us in her house. She was so excited to see another woman about to begin the journey. And one of the profound things she mentioned, has also been mentioned in the room today, was saying your husband must you need to get the buy-in of your husband before you even start. And I think that was very profound, because I needed to sit with my husband to say, okay, now this has come. That was before even it was in the public. Like, so what do you say? Should we go for this? And I'm, excited to say that Mr. Afolayan gave his fully go ahead. I'm sure many of you saw him at our meetings. He was always with me. He never left me, even though he had his own his own life and the children, most importantly. There were a lot of adjustments, even from my personal page and all that, because it's really deep than we think it is. I remember going for screening at DSS. That's something different, exactly. It's totally different again, going to do all that kind of screening at that level. They where you have to even take all your certificates. It was deep. They will ask you so many questions, and that's for security. You meet a lot of people. It was also mentioned in the room that you need to give. People will always come asking. But it was a beautiful experience. It was totally different from everything I've done so far. But most importantly, I'm grateful to God for the opportunity. I'm grateful that I was able to step in. I'm grateful that I also had I had a lot of learnings to do, and I look forward to bigger opportunities in the 2027 elections. I think finance is one of the biggest challenges that people have. And when I say people, I mean women. Finance has been one of the reasons why we haven't experienced so many women in politics. And so it's important that associations, organizations like WILAN begin to raise that funding now ahead of 2027 elections. We need to, if we're going to private fund, and you guys know how to do it best, but I will advise that, because with funding you can support many women, especially from the northern part of the country, even the central part, everywhere. Everybody needs money. In Lagos, you need more money. You don't need small money in Lagos. You need a lot of money. So it's a good time to start crowdfunding and getting access to such funds.
My name is Shafa'atu Salihu Labbo from Zamfara State, a mother, a wife, a teacher, and a politician. I run the State House of Assembly, Kauranamoda North, Zamfara State. I come into politics because of the women and children. Hausa people, more especially housewives, they don't allow us to come into politics. I decided to come into politics, me and my husband, because of our women and the children.
In most Nigerian states, women were not being appointed as commissioners, permanent secretaries, DGs, SA, etc., saying that we are not capable, we are not competent, and so on. Whereas many women are more competent than many men. The experience so far recorded by me, being contested twice on different tenure. At the general election, I gained many experiences through sensitization, workshops, and seminars on different occasions where we meet prominent politicians with intensive experience and competency. Well, my first challenge is found. Then the second one is, as a religious scholar and Hausa woman by tribe, as well as married wife, this caused some challenge for me to go into politics. At the first attempt being that traditionally and culturally, a Hausa woman cannot go into politics and contest unless on rare cases, rather than we are always supporting men to achieve their politics and vision. This is the main reason why I faced challenge in my political journey. Even at the moment, I maintain my stand that I'm ready to run in the future. That is 2027, inshallah, for the coming general election by Allah's willing. So that I should be able to support and empower women, children, and the youth, because my motto is voice of women, children, as well as our youth from both sexes.
Coming from diverse backgrounds and representing various constituencies, these women embarked on a journey to break down barriers and shatter glass ceilings. They faced a lot of challenges head-on, from financial constraints and gender discrimination to threats against their personal lives. Yet, in the face of adversity, these women remained undeterred. They campaigned tirelessly, engaging with their communities and sharing their visions for a better Nigeria. While the election results may not have been in their favor, the impact of their efforts cannot be overstated. They have ignited a spark of change, inspiring countless other women to step forward, claim their space, and make their voices heard in the political space.
My journey in politics is amazing. My reason for joining politics, I have like 2 to 3 to say. First off, the reward of politics is here on earth. And I've grown to see my dad work tirelessly for politics, and I don't think there's anything to show for it. So I promise him I'm going to be the reason why he gains his political reward. Aside that, aside the gains of politics and wanting to help people, I also consider myself as one of the benefactors of the dividends of democracy. So it encouraged me to go into politics, help people, and help myself. Then I needed to encourage young ladies like me, because we always feel we are mobilizees, just being mobilizees, and we shouldn't run for offices. I decided to run when I was 26. That was when I started permutations and other stuff. And I was running for the office of the State House of Assembly for my constituency, which is Jaba constituency of Kaduna State, Jaba local government. So, first off, I want to appreciate the gift of a husband, because most of us that contested, I'm sure we were lucky to have husbands that are going to have our backs. Otherwise, we won't go into this, considering the stigmatization that comes alongside a woman running for office or even being in politics. It's usually very difficult, but I have a husband that is willing to go along the line with me. My campaign it was crazy, but still interesting, because I got to know a lot of people, I got to know a lot of characters, I got to meet people I never ever imagined I was going to meet. The hurtful ones, the cool ones, those that are so plain, and those that can be very, very corny. I got to the primaries level, but did not scale through. It actually didn't mean I failed, because it's a win-win. I gained a lot of network. It helped me. Even when they said I should leave, I should stop, I'm a female, I have two wards, I belong to 2 wards, and I'm not supposed to contest from my family background, I'm supposed to contest from my husband's ward, and so many things. Zoning was affecting, and blah, blah, blah. But I did not stop, because I wanted to encourage people like me, ladies especially, that who think that no, there's no space for us. There's a big space, and we're going to maximize it. This is just a starting point.
I ran for the post of House of Assembly, Shagamu Constituency 2 in Ogun State, the last election. It was a great journey for me, something I never knew I needed. I thought that I could not do it. I thought I was not mentally prepared for it, but this journey showed me how strong and how I can do whatever I put my mind to do. So in the past, I've been a political journalist in the past, where I anchored Ogulutu. And this was what made politics interesting to me. I was so interested in politics. I wanted to change. I wanted to make change. I wanted to change policies. I volunteer for communities, try to see how we can help people, help fix the nation. I got the opportunity when the emergence of Labour Party came on board, Labour Party allowed people of my gender, of my age group, to come out. I was not a threat to them at first, but later I became a threat when they saw how much crowd I could pull and how much support I could get without spending almost nothing. I got so much support from people of all age range, the young, the old, the women, the men of Shagamu Constituency 1 and Constituency 2. I was representing Constituency 2, but I got support from even people from Constituency 1 that came all the way down to my constituency to help with my campaign. They helped support me with funds, little cash, little support, that some places that I was supposed to spend money on this, spend money on that they will say, oh, we love your manifesto, we love what you want to do, we want to see this happening, and we're going to help you, because my constituency hosts so many big organizations like Nestle, International Breweries, Coleman Cables, just to mention but few. And yet the roads are bad. We do not have secondary school, we do not have good health centers, the security is bad, it's so bad. All these things can be changed with just a policy. This will create more jobs because they will get serious with their lives. But then, we did not have all these things. I thought that maybe when I grow much more older, because it's not common to see a young woman of my age in politics. But I got the opportunity and I delved into it and I enjoyed every single step. Will I be doing this again? Of course, expect me in 2027. This time, bigger and better, because I have learned, I've experienced it firsthand. It is not something that I read in the book. Now I've equipped myself with the experience, with the fellowship programs, with the conferences that I've attended, leadership programs like this, and I've learned so much things that needs to be done that will get me what I want, because what is most important is for you to get there. How you get there, you have to get there in an honorable way, but it is much more interesting. It is better. Find your way to get there. It is when you are inside that room that you can make the change that you want to see, not by shouting outside. And then I want to say a big thank you, because this program has opened my eyes to so many things that I never thought I needed.
My name is Ruth Ki from Plateau State, Nigeria, and I ran for the position of a House of Assembly member. Though I lost at the primaries, but I am confident that I will bounce back better and strong. I grew up in a community where I had no access to quality school, no access to quality health care. I had an intention to study medicine like it was my passion, but the only secondary school that was available in my community had no sciences at all. Even the social science and art were not even, we had no quality teachers to even teach them. So I grew up seeing my dreams of becoming a medical doctor aborted because of lack of access to quality learning centers. The primary school I attended, we had to just sit on stones sometimes, and then we trek a long distance just to be able to have access to an education that was not quality. And aside from that, I saw many communities raided by attacks, you know, a lot of people losing their loved ones to incessant attacks. And the government was, at that time, was not doing something tangible to protect the lives of the people in my community. And I saw the importance of legislation, the importance of having laws in place that prohibit acts that violate the right of people, especially when it comes to attacking, killing, and taking advantage of the fact that people have no right to defend themselves. So I saw that as a need that needed to be addressed. So I can't boldly tell you that it has been a smooth ride. First, being a woman, and secondly, being a young woman, right? So being a young woman in politics, we faces like double discrimination, because when you call on youth, you discovered that above 60% will be the male counterpart. And when you talk about women in politics, you discover that we have the older women. So most times I'll be like, so where are the younger women? Which category do they fall in? So being a young woman in politics, it wasn't easy to navigate the technical processes of electioneering.
I actually wanted to run for House of Reps. I was ready to run for House of Reps. And when it got to the end of when we get in, you know, there was not a unity list, and I was told, you know, not to stress myself. I would say I was lucky, you know, I was told from, you know, the beginning, and I didn't even have to spend money. You know, APC forms, even though the form is free for women, but the expression of interest form isn't free, and it's quite expensive, you know, as compared to the PDP amount. So I'm lucky in that aspect that I didn't have to pay for the form. So I do a lot of humanitarian activities, a lot. I mean, in Kogi, we have our NGO, the Education Support Foundation. It's quite popular in Kogi. And we do a lot of, you know, humanitarian activities, medical outreaches, basically. And, you know, so you see a lot of things. You see people suffering, you know. Everything is wrong. And you look at the fact that these men, they've been doing it all this while. They've been there for a long time, but nothing's happening. I think there's this belief like women can't win. You know, it's tough out there. Say a woman cannot win the election. So I think that's one of the challenges. Well, the women are underrated. You know, they don't see us as people who can get there. And then most women don't have funding. You know, funding is another huge challenge. You know, the men are already in there. They've been in there, so they've made a lot of money from being in there. And then you're coming in with your small fund. It's difficult to fight these guys, you know. I mean, look at me. I wanted to run against somebody who has been in the House of Reps. He's already gotten some funds, you know, and then me, I'm coming with my own small savings, you know, to come and fight someone like that. You know, I'm looking at starting from the beginning. See if I can go, you know, start from being the chairman of a local government and take it off from there. I think that will give me an edge.
Running for political office is arguably the most exciting thing I have ever done in my life. I mean, I have done I'm naturally an adventurous person, and I have done quite a couple of things, but nothing compares to the experience of running for political office, of running a campaign. Moreover, the experience of running a campaign on fundraising. I did not have any money to run a successful campaign. So right from the beginning, I knew that if I was going to run this, it has to be through crowdfunding. Although a lot of people tried to discourage me, insisting that this is not the UK, this is not America. You can't run a campaign with donations. You can't run a campaign through crowdfunding. I decided I had nothing to lose. And I launched my crowdfunding campaign, and I met Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie, who decided alongside Whisker that they were going to hold a fundraiser for me. And that was how I became one of the women who was the beneficiaries of the first ever fundraiser for women in politics that has been held in Nigeria by women. It's arguably the most exciting thing I have ever done, and this is an experience I would encourage every woman to consider having, because it is worth having. Of course, there are challenges in every aspect of life, and the challenges of being a woman running for a political office in politics. Well, I am still a new entrant into the system. I am still fairly unknown. So there are a lot of challenges a lot of women spoke about, but in this particular cycle, the challenges I had weren't many. I did not have a lot of verbal or reputational attacks, which is something that is very common, especially to women. There wasn't a lot of it for me. And in terms of personal security, despite my community being ridden with insecurity and a high crime rate, well, I was fairly safe until very close to the elections, when I wouldn't even be allowed to leave my home without an area of escorts. It was fairly risk-free up until election day and the day after, where I had to go with security and all that. Other than that, there wasn't much challenges. Of course, I have had horrific stories of many women who have been faced with much harsher challenges, and like the one who was shot dead in Gaura, which is a local government in my state, in Kaduna State. Being in politics for women is highly challenging and fairly dangerous, and this is something that I'm very certain, if we come together as Nigerian women, we are going to see the end of it, because women need to be in politics.
To the incredible women of the Women Running Circle, I celebrate your courage, resilience, and unwavering commitment to public service. Your journeys have been difficult, but your determination to create a better Nigeria for all is truly inspiring. At Will and Global, we are proud to champion women who are poised to lead us into a just and fairer future. Alongside our partners, we are unwavering in our commitment to address the barriers that have hindered women from achieving gender-balanced leadership in politics. To all the women watching this documentary, I want you to know that your dreams, voices, and leadership matter. The Women Running Circle is here to support you, and together we will create a Nigeria where every woman has the opportunity to lead, to thrive, and to succeed. Thank you for being a part of this incredible journey.